Today, Iran and Israel are two of the most bitter enemies in the world. Missile strikes, covert assassinations, cyber warfare, and proxy battles across the Middle East have turned their rivalry into one of the most dangerous conflicts on Earth. But here is the surprising truth. Iran and Israel were once allies, not just diplomatic partners, but strategic friends who shared intelligence, trade, and military cooperation. So how did two nations that once worked together become sworn enemies? To understand that, we have to go back to a revolution that changed the Middle East forever. Welcome to the Unwritten Past, where we explore the historical events that still shape the world today. In this video, we'll uncover how Iran and Israel went from quiet allies to dangerous rivals, and why their conflict continues to shape global politics. When the modern state of Israel was created in 1948, most Middle Eastern countries refused to recognize it. But Iran was different. Under Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, Iran became one of the first Muslim-majority countries to recognize Israel and establish relations. At the time, both countries had similar strategic concerns. They were surrounded by powerful Arab states that opposed Israel's existence. This created an unusual alliance. Israel provided agricultural technology, intelligence cooperation, and military assistance to Iran. In return, Iran supplied Israel with oil, an essential resource for its growing economy. The relationship remained mostly quiet, but behind the scenes, the two countries were working closely together. For Israel, Iran was a valuable regional partner. For Iran's monarchy, Israel was a strategic ally backed by the United States. But this partnership would collapse almost overnight. In 1979, Iran experienced one of the most dramatic political transformations in modern history. The Iranian people overthrew the Shah in a massive revolution. In his place came a new government led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, who established the Islamic Republic of Iran. This new leadership rejected the Shah's alliances with Western powers. The United States became known in revolutionary rhetoric as the Great Satan, and Israel became the Little Satan. Iran immediately cut diplomatic ties with Israel. The Israeli embassy in Tehran was handed over to representatives of the Palestinian cause. What had once been a strategic partnership suddenly turned into ideological hostility. But ideology was only part of the story. One of the major reasons for Iran's hostility toward Israel was the Palestinian issue. After the revolution, Iran positioned itself as a defender of Palestinians and a critic of Israeli policies in the region. Iranian leaders argued that Israel was a symbol of Western influence in the Middle East. Supporting Palestinian groups also helped Iran gain influence across the region. Over time, Iran began supporting organizations that opposed Israel, including Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza. For Israel, this support was seen as a direct threat. What had once been political disagreement was now turning into military confrontation. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Iran and Israel rarely fought each other directly. Instead, they fought a shadow war. Iran expanded its regional influence by supporting allies and militant groups across the Middle East. Israel responded with intelligence operations, cyber attacks, and targeted strikes against Iranian networks. Battles took place in places like Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, the Mediterranean Sea. This indirect conflict allowed both sides to weaken each other without triggering a full-scale war. But another issue would soon escalate tensions even further. In the early 2000s, international attention turned to Iran's nuclear program. Iran insisted the program was designed for peaceful energy. But Israel believed Iran could eventually develop nuclear weapons. For Israel, a nuclear-armed Iran would represent an existential threat. This fear led to a series of covert operations. Iranian nuclear scientists were assassinated. Facilities were sabotaged. Cyber weapons, like the famous Stuxnet virus, targeted Iranian nuclear infrastructure. Iran blamed Israel and its allies. Israel never officially confirmed many of these operations, but tensions continued to rise. By the 2020s, the Iran-Israel rivalry had expanded into a regional power struggle. Iran strengthened alliances with armed groups across the Middle East. Israel built closer ties with several Arab nations and continued military operations to limit Iranian influence. Missile exchanges, drone attacks, and covert operations became more frequent. The decades-long shadow war slowly began moving closer to direct confrontation. And today, the consequences of this rivalry are shaping the future of the Middle East. The hostility between Iran and Israel did not begin with ancient hatred. It began with a revolution that transformed Iran's political system, its ideology, and its alliances. What was once a strategic partnership became one of the most dangerous rivalries in modern geopolitics. And understanding this history helps explain why tensions between these two nations continue to shape global events today. Because sometimes, the most intense conflicts begin with a forgotten friendship. If you want more historical documentaries that explain the forces shaping today's world, subscribe to the Unwritten Past. Because the past is never truly gone. It's just unwritten.